Let's see if this works. Let's see if this is better. I will wait for you. Don't worry. I will wait. We will wait for you to make sure that you're here. Sammie G is going to check for us. If you're with me, just drop it in. Yay! Okay, yes, we're on.
Let me see.
You know, okay.
There it is. Yes,
Okay,
it's back. Yeah,
I think I know what was going on. All right, is everyone on?
Written technology.
Okay, I'll wait for you. It's not so much technology. You know what actually happened? You know what I actually think it was?
What? Go on, tell us.
We're playing someone else's music. So they blocked us.
Yes, and it blocked.
That's right. There you go. That's for next time.
Yeah, you can't
so next
do
time we
that.
want to have a bit of a boogie on the countdown.
You're going to have to
use
play your own.
our own music. All right. So welcome everyone to the Attraction Marketing Playguide 5-day challenge. This is day 1, talking about Attraction Marketing 101, and it's everything to do with attraction marketing. Now, Sammie G, I was thinking back all the way back when, and
What do you mean all the way back?
back in the years, and I think about when we've been in business for quite some time,
A long time.
and not just network marketing, but small business as well. We owned our own fitness studio for several years. We managed PTs and personal trainers and all that sort of different stuff. And I sort of think back to, when our attraction marketing, when we really took attraction marketing seriously. And you know what? It was when we started taking our business seriously inside of our fitness business. I remember when I went from being just a personal trainer in a good life, in like a big box gym. And I got a business coach for 12 months to really sort myself out and sort my business out. And we moved into actually understanding who my client was. I didn't want to attract everyone.
Yep.
I was just, how did I separate myself from all these other personal trainers, all trying to do the same thing?
Well, give them a bit of background. There was like 25 personal trainers. It was one of the busiest health clubs in Australia, but it was small, and it had something like 25, 35 personal trainers, if you can imagine, all selling the same thing, all selling fitness, all selling transformation, all selling their sessions, all noisy. Everyone's discounting each other. People are like trying to do three sessions for $20, and someone else is like, I'm not, charging that. I want $100 a session. So you've got all this noise, which is very similar to social media. On your platforms, you've got so many people selling so many different products, so many different services. How do you stand out? But that's what Brett had when he was inside of that fitness sort of environment. How did he get his message across? How do you do that?
That's right. So, I started to look at ways, and to be honest, it was attraction marketing, right? It was ways to be able to generate leads, because that was the lifeblood of our business. I had to separate myself from other personal trainers, being a Me Too personal trainer. And I looked at, I sat down, I looked at who my clients were, who my target market was, who were the people that were actually purchasing the services from me. And I actually changed my name to becoming the female fitness expert Gold Coast. I mean, could you imagine, right? But to be honest, that was what was going on, right? Because I didn't want to attract everyone. I wasn't attracting everyone. So I need to spend my effort, my energy, my time on generating leads inside of that target market, be able to service those people direct, and be able to nurture and build relationship with that clientele. And all the while being able to bring more people in as prospects to one day when they were ready to think about doing personal training, this was the time they were thinking of me. There was no other person to think of. So that was back in 2008, 2009, 2010, and it was, and all these years later, here we are. And how does that represent? Well, how does that impact your business? And let me fast forward to our network marketing journey, which 9 years ago we said yes to this, and we applied those same principles, right? And I can see for a lot of network marketers, a lot of people in this field, in this industry, they tend to fall into this business, right? They tend to fall into this business. They fall in love with the products 90%, 99% of the time. They fall in love with the products. Then they start referring these products because they genuinely love them. And then they sort of go, oh, well, now I'm supposed to be some sort of marketer, right? I'm supposed to be using all these marketing techniques. I'm supposed to be building this network, but I don't have a clue on how to do it, right? Because to be honest, that doesn't really get taught by anyone. Am I right? Inside of the network marketing, so people tend to sort of flap around in a bit of network marketing. They sort of try a bit of this, try a bit of that, stick, post and pray. They stick it all up and whatever else. And inside of our business, inside of this team, we are fortunate enough to have things like, today was like the 120 days of social content and posts and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's great to begin with. But what do you do after? I mean, that's really the question. Like, what do you do after those 120 days?
Or it's great as just to give you a bit of inspiration. But I think, like Brett said, a lot of people come into this and they've never done marketing in their life. They've got no idea what to do on social media. They just take something and post it and they're like, okay, maybe if I just post this stuff that's lying around and then every day I just pump it out, where's all the sales? Why aren't I getting all these, these people buying my stuff? Why isn't my business doubling and tripling, quadrupling? Because I'm posting on my stories every day, or I'm posting every now and again about my product or whatever it is that people are selling. Why isn't my business growing? Because they don't have the fundamental understanding of marketing. And like Brett said, when you come into these network marketing style businesses, e-commerce business, a lot of people fall into it by accident on a Monday, and then on a Tuesday, it's like, okay, you're a marketer and you're supposed to know how to get your message across, how to design things, how to get, your wording right, how to get a cold market person who doesn't know you from a bar of soap, how to get them to purchase from you. And, like we're saying, that's okay for a little while. You can usually get through your warm market for a short amount of time. But I'm sure for a lot of you on here, you get to that point where you're like, my mum's bought, my friends have bought from my warm network. How do I now branch out into other areas? Because I can't just keep posting the same old stuff on social media. And this happens to everyone. Every single person when they begin their business has a period of time where their product is new or their offering is new, and they have that little window for their warm market where everyone's like, oh, me, I want it. But you would also, you can drop it in the chat. After a certain period of time, anyone who was going to buy from you or was interested in what you're doing after that little window, they already know. They already know what you're doing, but how do you then branch out into other areas? How do you do that?
And these are the fundamental questions that everyone asks this business, and I was just thinking while Sammie was talking about that, you become a specialist at something. You have to go from generalist to specialist. And one example I just wanted to use just quickly, and again, it was part of our journey into network marketing. It was we were a small business. And we opened a CrossFit box. We opened a CrossFit studio, and everyone who knows CrossFit, or knows someone who has done CrossFit,
hardcore.
It was all the rage. It was all the rage back in the day, And I know that CrossFit still continues on to this day. But how do you go from a generalist, which is CrossFit conversation, and again owning a business, to now targeting an area or looking for a niche or looking for somewhere where you can capitalize and create a relationship in a specific group of people. And Sammie went from doing CrossFit General, and she changed it to CrossFit Chicks, right? She went into a CrossFit Chick. So she was like, I'm not going to worry about talking to everyone.
I'm not going to worry about talking to the guys. I'm not going to worry about the people who are concerned about movement or just general PT or general exercise. I'm going to talk directly to women who want to do CrossFit, because I worked out that there was this target market. There was a group of women who loved CrossFit, wanted hardcore workouts. They wanted to learn how to do Olympic weightlifting. They wanted to learn how to have really intense workouts. And I'd worked out that within this sort of environment of fitness, that inside of the environment of fitness, there was also a lot of different niches that you could speak to people and you could pick them out.
So her understanding that, all of a sudden then it became to a place where it was that she created a community of like-minded individuals, people who all spoke the same language, who all felt like they were connected to the conversation. And then in turn, Sammie created a Facebook page, a page for that to be able to reach out, to be able to create that community, to get her message out using social media. And that grew to over 34,000 people. And all Sammie did all day, every day was think about when she was delivering content, when she was delivering information, when she was building the strategy out of how do I look after these people, build trust. She would just create posts and comment and information that specific person wanted to know. And in turn, they trusted her.
So every time I went to post something, I had created what is called an avatar. So a person with a name, a human. Like I'd sat down and worked out exactly who this person was that I was talking to. Who she was, how old she was, where she hung out, what sort of things kept her up at night, what was she interested in, what did she want to do, what did her life look like. I'd created that exact human standing in front of me. So every single time I went to post something in there, I posted directly to that person as if her and I were sitting in a room having a conversation with each other. What would I say? What would she be interested in? What things could I help her with? What pain points did she have that I could provide a solution for? What would she be enthralled with? What would make her stop scrolling social media and look at it and go, wow, that's interesting. I want to read that because that's something that can help me with my life. So that was step one. And I think this step is so overlooked. And I think a lot of people miss out on this first very, very important step of marketing. And they have no idea who they're talking to or who they're serving, and they become very general and they just spout out all this information. And when you become general, you become beige, and when you become beige, it goes over everybody's head. Because social media is so noisy, you have to be specific. So having that process in place as step one of every single thing that you do is absolutely crucial to have that connection with your market, even if they're cold and have never met you in person.
All right, so this is day one of the Attraction Marketing Playguide. This is us, and like I said, if you want to generate more leads, you're in the right place. If you want to build your brand, you're in the right place. If you want to make more sales, you're in the right place. And if you want to build a business using attraction marketing, which we are talking about all this week, you are in the right place. And that's really what we want to be focusing on to help you understand this, because attraction marketing is a buzzword. It is sort of like the whole, thing that's happening out in the world. However, not many people are able to harness it. And once you harness it, then you are able to build the two things, which is inside network marketing. Number one is your network, and number two, your marketing efforts. And that's really what it is. And we've put this here. If you ever stumbled across a post from your favorite influencer on Instagram or TikTok showing off a tutorial on how to use a skincare product they love, and the skincare product they love, and felt compelled to go out and buy it yourself, you've experienced the power of attraction marketing. So how can you start using attraction marketing in your own business? This is what we're going to be covering. Everything to do with attraction marketing, how to use it, generate leads, build your brand, and make more sales. All right, so this is what we're going to be talking about just today. Sammie G?
What is attraction marketing? Because it's that word, buzzwords out there, and everyone says it, but I don't think many people know how to do it or what it even means. The benefits to you of attraction marketing, what it can do for your business. 6 steps to your attraction marketing lead and sales funnel, because you have to have a system and a process so that when you post these amazing posts or you're talking to these amazing people, guess what? You have a system to take them from going, yeah, I'm interested, to buying what you have. Identify who you are and who you want to serve. So that's what I was talking about before, having your avatar, having that exact person, that human. So you are specific, you are not general. I know a lot of people get scared about the being specific. They're like, yeah, but some of my people who buy things are men, and some of them are people who are 12, and some of them are people who are 80, so they're scared to niche in. But when you niche in, it becomes very powerful, and that's how you have a very powerful business.
This is marketing 101. This is really what it's all about. And I guess if you're here, chances are that you've probably been smashing your personal, socials on trying your hardest to try and throw everything out. Trying all these different ways. You're coming up with power posts. You're coming up with engagement posts. You're coming up with dancing in reels and stories and whatever else. You're trying to get attention, right? Am I right? Like that's what you're trying to do. That's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to reach out into the world and say, "Oh, I'm over here. Come and look at what I'm doing. Come and see what I'm up to." That's the general approach. The attraction marketing approach is you've got to make sure that you, number one, know who you want to talk to so that you can craft out your social media content. You can craft out the information that you're going to put out. It becomes intentional, right? And this is also very important to make sure that it's intentional posting. I see so many people who waste so much time and energy every week putting out posts, and there's not a one step, like what's the next step you want people to take? And doing this right and having this attraction marketing, which again we're going to be talking about and deep diving into and implementing, because you're going to do a lot of work this week. I want you to know you're ready. I hope you're ready to work. So creating things like a sales funnel to be able to walk people through. It's like, how do you take a cold prospect and then warm them up? You can't do it just on your personal page. You can't do it just on your Facebook page. This is a light version of Facebook. You need to go out into the world.
And posting, like someone said in there, I can't see who it is because you haven't enabled Ecamm Live, so it just comes up to us as Facebook user. Someone has just said in the chat that, yes, that is the easiest part of this business. The easiest part is posting. And a lot of people can do that really easily. They can grab a post from boards, chuck it out on social media, and then they sit back and twiddle their thumbs. And it's like, why isn't my business exploding? And it's like the posting is just one tiny part of a jigsaw puzzle. And if you can get all of the parts in order and all of the systems right, then it becomes a very, very powerful marketing machine. But the posting is just one tiny little part of it. Important, but it's not everything.
You have to think about it, right? Like at the end of the day, we sell trust. That's what we do. And our goal is that we put something out, right? If we're going to create an intentional post right now, we want to put something out that's going to deliver in value, that's going to hit people between the eyeballs, right? The right people, making sure that they're highly qualified leads. How do we qualify people if we don't have control of the traffic? If we don't be able to control, we just throw it out, we throw a post out there, and hopefully someone somewhere is going to just fall on top of it and go, this is the answer. This is what I've been looking for all my life. No, it's about giving them something of value and then able to pull them into your environment, your world, showcase what you have, give them a whole load of love and connection and make them feel like they belong in this. And then when they're ready, remember this, people will join you when they're ready, not when you are ready. And this is the gold mine, is once you understand that, all day long, what you should be doing is what we call networking. And networking in a way that is, it takes them along that journey. It butters them up, so to speak. It builds a rapport. It builds trust. It shows you that you're consistent. And if majority of people in this business are just relying on their posting strategy as the only thing that's going to build a network and all that sort of stuff. If Facebook or Instagram or whatever took it away today, where would you be? And we also know that social media you don't have control of where the traffic goes. You don't have control over who sees it. You don't have control, like even people rely on their friends list to sort of go, well, this is my network. I got a friends list. And it's like, yes, but half of them are men, or half of them are not your target market. Half of them are your team, and then the other half, is whatever's going on. And so you're posting this thing out. You're hopefully Facebook is looking after you to direct that traffic to the right eyeballs. And unfortunately, and in Instagram and all of them, all the social media platforms out there. So it's important that we as marketers take control of the information and take control of the traffic. Take control of the communication between us, our company, your company, and your prospects.
Because like Brett said, when you put a post out there, you're like, yes, but I did the most amazing post ever. You may have posted it, Facebook or Instagram may have held it back. It may have put it through 10 people's feeds. You don't know where that thing's going. You have no control over it. You just assume that all, 1,000 people or 5,000 people, whoever you have on your Facebook, or 20,000 people on Instagram, you're assuming that it has gone out to every single person, that every single person has been stopped in their tracks and read it, that every single person is looking at it through the same eyes that you have, through the eyes that everyone has time to sit and digest and understand what you're writing. And they don't. And I think understanding this as a marketer as well is fundamental, that the posts that you put out there, they may not hit people. People don't have time. They're scrolling past. They read the first sentence. They're looking past it. Doesn't mean to say they don't want to buy your products. It doesn't mean to say they're never going to want to join your business. It just means to say that at that moment in time when you did that, it was not the right time to get through to that person.
And this is the tragedy for a lot of marketers, and that is you did a great post. You did a great post. You spent hours doing it. You've edited and edited. You've sent it off to 5 other buddies. You've done all your photos, you put it up, and because that person was just passing by and today wasn't the right day for them, then how do you know that? How do you keep the conversation going with that person until they're ready? How do you do that? And this is where attraction marketing comes into play. This is where you need to be building a network. And Sammie, I'll just use Sammie again, just really quickly before we jump into it. Sammie lost the CrossFit Chicks page. It was taken down from her. 34,000 people on a page. And because we had since moved out of CrossFit and Sammie kept it going, because the name was CrossFit Chicks and we weren't licensed anymore, CrossFit contacted Facebook and it was gone in a day. And could you imagine, right? Can you imagine those things can happen? And that can happen because why? Because Sammie didn't control the database. She didn't control the traffic. She didn't control those people. So what did she have to do? Well, she was lucky enough, she was fortunate enough to do what? She took their information. She asked for the information when anyone ever reached out, when everyone ever had a conversation, when anyone ever replied to a message, whenever anyone went into Messenger, the first question Sammie G asked was,
"Can I have your email address?" That was the first question. So every time anyone ever reached out to me and said, "Hi, can you tell me about," yes, first, can I just grab your email?
That's right.
"Hi, can you tell me about," yep, first, can I just grab your email address? "Hi, can I buy?" Yep, you can, but hang on a minute, I just need to grab your email address. So every time anyone, whether it's on your personal page or anywhere else, wherever you are floating around on social media world, every single time anyone reaches out to you about your business, the very first question you should be asking is, "Can I take your email address?" While you're still talking to them, "Thank you very much." Okay, and moving into the next question.
You've got to remember this. Write it down. Tattoo it on your eyelids. Because this is one of the most important things about this business. It's the first word in this business. And that is, your network is your net worth. If it all fell to bits today, and again, talking about falling to bits, Sammie and I went into opening up gyms for a group of people. We employed 8 personal trainers, and Sammie was the manager as well as we were running the PT business as well. Once something happened, a lot of things happened, which it'll just take too long to go through. But anyway, in a day, we were moved out of that gym, and along with it, all our business was left as well because we didn't have a contract in place. So Sammie and I Sammie was 6 months pregnant with Saf. Right, so this is number 4.
They didn't want anyone. They didn't want anyone who was pregnant managing their gym, because this is how bad it was. They didn't want anyone who was pregnant because obviously I was going to give birth and need time off. They didn't want to pay maternity leave or have any of that stuff. So overnight they said, it's okay, we'll keep all of the clients and we'll employ the personal trainers. We really don't need you anymore. And that was our business that we'd set up. We trained people. We had this big database and all of these personal trainers in there. To set them up inside of these gyms that had just come over from America and set them all up. So overnight, we went from having a great, thriving business to being pregnant. So no one wants to employ you either when you're pregnant, and having no business overnight.
So most people would fall to bits and whatever else. Sammie and I pulled our head together, went and opened our own gym. And because of our database, we were able to keep the communication alive with our clients and be able to offer them services that we were now able to give inside the fitness industry, and away we went. And we were able to rebuild the business. We're able to continue to rebuild your business. Why? Because of our network, and that's the game. So, my friends, this is the key to attraction marketing. Now, just before I jump in, I've got some questions coming in. So Joe Butler has asked, well, when you ask for their email, ask why. What's your response? People can be wary about giving out their emails, so don't get spammed. Now,
no, what were you going to say? You finished.
I was going to say, well, if you're doing your attraction marketing right, you're adding so much value that people are like, oh my gosh, can you like, you could be telling them that every week I'm going to be dropping this, I'm going to be dropping that, I'm going to be, giving you tips and tricks to be able to stay healthy, be able to make money, be able to do X, Y, Z, and I want you on my subscription list so that you never miss out on a day of it. You give them so much value that it's like I want to be part of that list, and we're going to be building something together that makes that irresistible.
So if I say, can I grab your email? I say, because I'm going to add you to my VIP list. If there's any discounts or any stuff like that, I can send it to you. Don't worry, it's not a spammy thing. And I just talk to them like that. So if you're like, oh, can I have your email? Do you mind? Is it okay? I'm just like, yeah, give me your email and I'll add you into this special little area. So every now and again, you're going to get something from me. It could be a special offer, it could be a free gift, it could be anything, whatever. And they're like, yeah, there you go, whatever. So I think if you speak to them like that, then people are like, yeah, no worries, there you go. But like Brett said, you're doing all of this other stuff in the background as well. And I think these days as well, about the spammy thing, there are so many ways for people to unsubscribe, click off. I think it maybe 2 years, 5 years ago, that was a thing. Like, oh, am I going to get a load of emails? But now it's just unsubscribe, gone. So I don't have anyone ever ask me that question anymore.
I have a question for you then, Joe. I have a question for you. Did you feel that you needed to ask why when we sent out the link to be able to be part of this, for example? Because we could be spammers. Why did you willingly put your email address into it? The reason why is because there was value for you to get out of it. So it was a mutual exchange. Trust. Okay? And again, if we do a good enough job of building trust with you, when it comes time for us to be asking you for information like that and say, we have something.
She didn't.
You did not.
Why is that? Because you think you're going to get spammy emails.
That's right. So
But you're not.
So this is the important thing, because remember, we're building trust in every single thing that we do, and creating consistency, creating like great calls to action, creating things that people can consume, high value. This is all very important with attraction marketing. And this is something that you're going to be learning over the next 5 days. In fact, you're going to be building over the next 5 days, so you have these things in place.
And when you're asking for someone's email, it's not like, I want to take from you. It's, you're talking to them about what I'm going to give you. I'm being of service to you. I'm going to give you something that is of great value to you. I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to give you something. That's how you need to look at that, rather than I'm taking something from someone and then I'm going to spam them. It's like, no, it's of great value for them to give you their email address, because you are working together to give them something of value. And if you have that conversation like that and you are of service to the person, you will never ever have any problems, apart from maybe one weirdo who's like, no, you're not having it. Okay, well, you don't get it then. It's up to you. That's how I speak to people, whatever. Move on to the next person, but you have to always be operating out of service to the person.
So we're gonna be jumping into this and talking about these different things. Let's keep moving on. Mm-hmm. So attraction marketing is a style of marketing that focuses on creating content and messages that attract, engage, and convert customers. The goal of attraction marketing is to build a relationship with potential customers by providing them with valuable information and resources that they can use. Joe Butler, hopefully you're taking notes. The theory behind attraction marketing is that people are likelier to buy, that is a word, to buy from businesses they feel connected to. You build trust and credibility by providing potential customers with helpful information and resources. As a result, they're more likely to do business with you when they're ready to buy. This should answer that question, Joe, in terms of that email exchange. If you think that it's going to be worth your while, you will even put your credit card details in and buy something. Am I right?
You are right.
Online, if there is a need that's going to be fulfilled, we are quite happy to punch in our credit card details and throw it in and await the arrival of things that we need in our life. This is no different. This is attraction marketing. You can build this with your information, with your content, with the value that you put out into the environment. And again, remember, you can't just put out everything to everyone. You have a niche, you have a target market, and you serve those people 100%. You're building trust every single step of the way.
And you're hitting their pain point. Like they have, you also have to remember that the person has to have a need to want your thing. So if you're selling, I don't know, weight loss, for instance, you're selling weight loss to someone who doesn't need to lose weight, they don't care. They're not going to give you anything. But if you're talking to someone's pain point and they need to lose weight and you're selling it and you've built up trust, of course there's going to be that exchange. That's why people are searching through social media all day long trying to buy things, because they're trying to fill the gaps, because they have a need, they have a pain point. And that's your job when you're niching in, whether you're selling anti-aging, weight loss, clean label, gym products, inside of all those challenges, we parceled it all up for a reason, which we'll talk about. We parceled it up. Whatever your niche is that you're selling to people, if you're offering value to them, they will definitely want to give you their information.
All right, so here's the 6 keys or the 6 steps to attraction marketing funnel. So here's what I put it in here. Posting a picture online, hoping it sticks, is a lot like knocking on people's doors, handing them a flyer and hoping they'll buy your product. And I can tell you now, Sammie and I, we have spent a lot of money on flyer drops. I don't know about you. So if you're in a business, if you're
this is not for network marketing. This is way back when we owned gyms.
If you're in a bricks and mortar business, I'm sure you've been spending money, and the return of investment is dire. I mean, look at how many people use junk mail, right? They read your junk mail on the way to the bin. That is basically where social media comes in. You're putting a post out there. You're putting, a glossy picture. You're spending time and energy on filters and all that sort of stuff. And basically, you're throwing it out into social media world and allowing those people to walk and read your post while they're on the toilet.
Chuck it.
Okay, they're like most people are like just checking it out, what's going on, instead of it being something of value, something that has intent, something that has an intentional value towards that person who's about to read it. And so you want them to move through some steps, okay? So step 1 is about branding you first. We need to get you into place. We need to make sure that you're clear, concise, confident, become that expert, position yourself as the go-to person. And you have a level of genius in you right now that you're able to do something that no one else can do, something that you've already been able to achieve, something that you've succeeded in life, something that you know how to do, and you can impart that genius in other people. And other people want your skill. This is very important that you understand this and you get this clear for you, first of all, and that is you are an expert at something. It's all about you realizing it and looking at it. And Sammie G is actually sharing with me a story that she was following some ladies. Let me just jump in here so we can see your face again. Talking about the boss babes.
Yes. So, how many of you follow or have seen anything that says Boss Babes Inc? You may have seen a graphic, you may have seen a quote, you may have bought one of their little courses, you may have hopped on Instagram and seen it. I think they've got now 3.6 million followers on Instagram. If you can hear my accent, I am a Geordie. The girl who owns that is from the exact same place as me. She was this kid kicking around at uni, trying to create graphics and post things, probably about 10 years ago, I think it was. She's called Natalie. Post things online, little graphics about, love, life, live, all that sort of stuff. Bit cheesy at the time, but has created this massive following of 3.6 million people on Instagram who follow them and buy all of their courses. There's 2 of them. So they've positioned themselves as an expert in online graphics, in online, selling things that go viral, in courses, teaching people how to brand themselves, how to take something from nothing and turn it into this mega business, which they've created this huge, huge business they've got now. Now, if you'd have gone back in time 10 years ago and spoken to Natalie and said, what are you an expert in? This is a kid at uni, kicking around, not much going on. She probably would have said, like a lot of you on here, I'm not an expert in anything. I haven't got anything to offer. I don't have $1 million business inside of me. I wouldn't have a clue what to talk about. Who's going to buy it anyway? Like all of those limiting beliefs and ideas. However, she took that concept from a back student little room and turned it into an 8-figure turnover business per year and has smashed out this monster business from nothing. So, I was just sharing that with Brett. Every single person, no matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter what age you are, you have something inside of you that you can take to market and you can create a personal brand which can help you have a massive business. I fully believe that.
We hear a lot of this about, going to brand you and, put yourself first and not your product and all that sort of stuff. And like I said, a lot of people in network marketing, they just fall into this and they're like, okay, so I just take this and just throw it out into the world and hopefully something will stick. And it's like, that gets us so far, right? Like that gets us some of the way. It doesn't get us all the way though. And that is now moving into it like, what can you bring to the place? What can you bring to market? What could you bring to your niche or your target market that is going to position you as the number one go-to expert? Okay, I'm getting some great questions here. Thanks very much. And it's like, well, how do I find out? How do I find out what that is? Someone just tell me what my genius is. It's like, okay, just calm down. Okay, we are going to get through this. That's why you're with us. So we're going to walk you through this. But understanding this is crucial. And knowing that, people are making, building their brands out of quotes with a hashtag. Some people are building businesses on Canva templates, on being able to offer.
Some people are building businesses on being funny on Reels. Some people are building their businesses and being experts in weight loss for a specific age group of people. Some people are building their business on becoming gut health experts, again, on a specific group of people. This Boss Babe thing, this was a group of people, like 2 girls, building their business for female entrepreneurs, a specific group of people, and they hit 3.6 million people between the eyeballs and speak exactly their language. All their coloring, all their branding, all their language is speaking directly to that person, and that's why it's successful. Now, if they were just going, hi guys, I am a Canva template person and I sell Canva templates to everyone, and some of it was blue and some of it was black and some of it was red, and they were selling it to every single person and their dog, it would water down how powerful their message is. But if you go onto their Instagram and have a look at it, within 30 seconds, you know exactly who it's aimed at. You know exactly who they are talking to. You know exactly what they're selling, and it hits the person, their pain point, in between the eyes, because it's like, okay, I don't have time to create all this stuff, but you do, give it to me now and I'll buy it. And there's people buying all day long from 2 young girls a few years ago who was sat in the back of uni, didn't know what to do with themselves.
Find your niche.
Find
exactly
your niche.
What they've done.
Yeah.
Not only have they taken their genius, they've been able to move to step 2, and that is decide on your audience and clearly define the pain points and desires and struggles. And so this is step 2 of the marketing funnel. Here's the thing, right? So many people want a quick fix. They want to get straight to step 4 and 5, and that now they're also wondering where number 6 is. They don't want to do the hard work, which is the setup, which is about dealing with you, which is about understanding who you want to talk to, who you want to spend all the time with, and who you ultimately want to track. Step 3 then is, once you get through these 2 things, step 3 is knowing what to offer in the way of a solution to your prospects' main challenges. This is why you have to become intimate with people's pain points and problems, so that you can put yourself in between the problem and where they ultimately want to get to. And if you offer that solution, and we're going to be working specifically on this step, so that you are able to take this out to the world and be able to say, hey, instead of just creating great content, right? And instead of just throwing out a social media post and thinking that's it, being intentional with throwing out a content and saying, if you want more information, I've got exactly what you're looking for. Go to this next step. And that's where a lot of people are like missing it. It's like, so you're never really, if you don't build your network, you're never really getting any further along. You're never really sort of getting ahead. You're sort of just treading water, and you're sort of spinning your wheels. You're sort of just, okay, I'm going to come back to the social media post, or I'm going to come back to a social media post, or I'm going to make a funny video, or I'm going to make a funny reel, and that will be it. And then it's not. And so you have eyeballs on you, but you don't have anywhere else to go. You don't have the next step for people. And that's ultimately where the sales and marketing, that lead generation funnel fits in. Step 4 is to create a lead funnel that attracts your prospects to you on autopilot. And again, allows, if you do steps 1, 2, and 3 right, when they get to step 4, they're not going to be thinking twice about putting their email in and becoming part of your network, because they value what you talk about. They value what's going on. And then we're moving down into step 5, which is create intentional and consistent content that solves those pains and frustrations and leads them into your sales funnel every single time. So every single post now, when we get to the end of it, every single thing that you put out there is going to be intentional with the call to action, which is join my list, get my freebie, get the thing the solution that I offer. And again and again and again, this thing can be compounded, and the conversation stays the same, because everything that you say more than once can be built into a step-by-step process that you can automate. All right. Hang on a minute. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. Joe Butler's on again. Are we only talking about a customer avatar or both customer and potential business partner avatars?
Differentiate between the two.
Right now. Do you think it's important to differentiate between the two? Absolutely. I believe so.
We've had this conversation quite a lot recently about it, and I have to be totally honest that we built our past business on just like 99.99999% talking about products. This is the biggest misconception I believe inside of our business, is that we have to either be talking about the business or we have to be talking about the products. The products are the business and the business is the product. What do you think a person who's searching through social media, how are they different if they're buying products from you versus if they're coming to you for a business? There is no difference. They're human beings, and I had a lot of conversations this week with Rachel Waterhouse. We were talking exactly about this, and you putting out there on social media to a cold market, you have to work on the lowest barrier of entry. It's kind of like a stepping stone of trust. How do you get someone just to look at what you have? Then they're sort of like step one, and then they're like, oh, okay, oh yeah, you've given me what you've said you were going to give me. I trust you. Now I can move to level 2. Okay, what else do you do here? Who are you? What's behind what you're talking about? So when we were in our last company, we made our first $1 million in commission in like 14 months. We had a big business of business builders and customers both, and 99% of them came in from product posts because I had a system and a stepping stone behind that. So it was almost like casting out a fishing net and bringing in all of the people who were anyone, entrepreneurs, all different people who all had a pain point. They wanted to maybe lose weight or increase their performance at the gym or whatever it specifically was. And that was level 1 of me building trust with them in the products. As soon as they built trust in the product, then I was able to say, who are you? Are you an entrepreneurial person? Are you a person who would be good at this business? And have a different level of conversation with them. But if I was spouting out on Facebook every 5 minutes about business, that is a much harder conversation for a cold person to take in and move through your funnel. It's not to say it's impossible, but you as a marketer have to understand it is a lot harder to bring someone in that way than it is to talk about products.
So I'll use an example. And that was like my personal training business. Okay, so I was a personal trainer, one-on-one. I sold it for $75 an hour. At one stage, I was $100 an hour. That's a premium price to pay. All right, for my time.
10 years ago.
Okay, so but anyway, I mean, I didn't just fall there and offer that, but I grew my business because there were slots. I could only sell the slots once. I could only sell the time slots once. So as more demand for the 6 a.m. came, then I moved the price up and whatever else. However, that's not how most people came in. Most people didn't come in as a one-on-one PT. Now, some did, but most didn't. And so here I was thinking to myself, well, I was offering them, this premium product, which they weren't ready for. They didn't know who I was. They were coming in. They were new to the gym. They didn't know what was going on. They weren't committed enough, whatever was going. So what I did is I put a low performing, like a low offer for them first. And it was like, hey, come and do a boot camp. It's $10 a week, 3 times a week. You're with a group. You're with a whole group of people. And so what happened was a lot of people were like, yeah, I'll just start there. And that was perfect. So it was 1 hour of my time and there was 100 people doing it at once. It's like, well, it makes sense. And then eventually what would happen is once they were in the environment, once they were in the fitness and they were proving it to themselves that they enjoyed it, that they were happy wherever else, then, and also getting to know me, getting to know, building the trust, thing.
Trust,
and that was
everything.
Every week I'd send them a newsletter. Every week I'd send them healthy tips. Every week I'd be, giving success spotlights and all that sort of stuff. I'd be doing all this stuff outside of the hour of training that we did together. And then what would happen is these people would then move into the next phase, which is, could we do a group session and then go into one-on-one? So there was a stepping ladder of them moving into becoming a premium product, right? Like a premium customer. Now, inside of this business, I get that, some people are like, yeah, but I don't want
customers.
Okay,
I just want business.
So here's the thing, right? Sammie has built the conversation. Her CrossFit Chicks page was taken away. So she decided to start again. Now, she already had $1 million conversation. She had $1 million story to be able to share with the world, to be able to say, you can do exactly what I do, make millions of dollars and all sorts of stuff. However, she went in and she started another health and wellness page because she knew that was where her target market was. She knew that these conversations could continue on, that she could create content about it all day, every day. She's now built that page up to over 160,000 people. 160,000 people that she can have this conversation with. And again, if she does it right, she can move people into a low-lying proposition, which is the products, which is the opportunity, like the challenges and all those different things. And then once they're inside,
I can have a different conversation.
She can craft the message by staying consistent about, this is the next step. This success story, that success story. Not only has that person lost weight, or not only has that person got a result from the product, but also she's been able to share it with other people, and then she's been able to, move to the next step, which I also offer. So it's not about always putting the front. Now, I'm not saying that I can't say that you can't look at this and go, no, my target market's going to be business bills all right. Because this is right as well. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what seems to work and where you can put a lot of like traffic in at once and be able to then, grow up, because not everyone wakes up and says, I'm looking for a network marketing opportunity.
If I look at my personal journey inside of network marketing, if I saw a business post saying, join my business, you should come and join me, it's going to be amazing, you're going to make millions of dollars, I would have gone next. Because my version at that point in my life, I was pregnant with my 5th child. I was already working full time. I already had a business. My version of business was hectic, headache, large amount of money investment. I've got to learn new stuff. I've got to do something extra on top of what I'm already doing. I do not want anything to do with that. Now, that is not what we're selling, but that is the interpretation of most people when they see those type of posts, because they're not in our language. They don't understand our business. They have no concept of it. So for me, talking that language to most people was like me speaking German. It would go straight over the top of their head. It would have gone straight over the top of my head. Now, at that point, my pain point was weight loss. I was having my 5th child. I was like, I'm going to be the size of a house. How am I ever going to feel good again after all of these children, So when the person was talking about weight loss, even though I was entrepreneurial, that spoke directly to my pain point. And once I was in the environment, so I took step 1 of the trust stepping stone. Once I was in there, then I was like, okay, I can see this now. I can see how this works. This is easy. I can do this. However, if that person had been banging on all day long about business, I never would have gone into a business. And I have to tell you, our success level in that business was humongous. We went from having no network marketing experience to earning $1 million in commission in 14 months from zero. Having a baby, having our 5th baby during that time, and we smashed out their business center. So you have people like me at the moment sat in your pod, sat in terms of your network, on your social platforms. It's just maybe at the moment you are speaking German to them and it is going straight over the top of their head. So for me, my sales funnel always started with products, because that is someone's pain point. If I want to lose weight, it's painful. I'm looking. If I've got gut health problems or anti-aging, it's a pain point. I'm looking. It's a low barrier of entry. It's you give me that quick and I'm coming in, and all I have to do in my mind is pay for it and I get it. If you're talking to me about building a business, it's like, how long is this going to take? Do I have to learn all this stuff? Like, how am I going to do all this? I'm not going to be able to do it. Can I do it? Will I do it? Will I have time? So it's a lot of barriers to get someone over, to get them into your world. However, when you're talking, I'll just use weight loss as an example. I've got a pain, I want to lose weight. Okay, here's a product. Transaction, then I'm in your business. Okay, now I can see I could do that. Now I'm a bit entrepreneurial. I can look at your business opportunity because I trust you and because I have gone through step 1 of the process to move me into becoming a business builder.
So this is really important, and I think this is a great question that you ask, Joe, and that is regarding, which way to do it. Now, the answer is there's no right or wrong answer. It's what you choose to do. Like, where do you want to position yourself? So if I just finish up on this roadmap, number 6 is trust. Okay, so
Trust is everything.
That is the six steps to it. You have to build trust over time. Consistent message over time. To build trust over time. These are the essentials to this attraction marketing work. So the first question then, and moving in a good segue from Joe's question, is who are you? So I know this sounds like a silly question, but you are the greatest asset when it comes to branding. What's your personality? What do you stand for? How did the product become your solution to your pain? How did this product provide you with pleasure? All these questions you need to answer. Just like attracting someone to you in real life, your social media should reflect who you are and why you are so darn amazing. And again, remember, this has to be intentional though. I want you to really I want you to put this word intentional into everything that you do, an intentional post. What is the outcome that you want to achieve? Do you want, even if you want to humor someone, if you want to humor someone, humor keeps people's attention for a little bit longer. However, there has to be a next step, right? There has to be a next step. If you're going to write something about gut health, there has to be a next step. There has to be a call to action. How do people consume you after the post, reel, story, whatever, TikTok? How do they consume you after that? It's about moving them off different platforms and into what I said at the start, which is traffic that you control. If you have a great gut health post that you put up, then you damn well should have something at the end of it saying, if you want my 7-day gut challenge or whatever else, click here and I'll send it direct to your email or whatever else. You have to move them into what we talked about, which is you control the network, you control the conversation. Once they're in there, then it's up to you to continually have that conversation over time. So let's begin with you. This is what you need to ask yourself.
And Rachel has just made a great point there. Don't try and be someone else. You know, if you are sitting there and you're like, oh, but this person does that and that person does this and that, you know, Justin Prince, all he does is talks about business, and that person, all they do is, you know, talk about weight loss, or that person does this. Don't think that you have to be that person that you're not. Because if you are posting something or trying to be a certain way and underneath it all, it's not you, you will never be able to get that message across properly. You will not be able to stay consistent. You'll get bored. You'll come off track. You'll let your guard down. Someone will be like, are you really doing this? So think hard about what you want to portray, about who you are, something that comes naturally. You know, are you really passionate about gut health? Are you really passionate about weight loss? Are you really passionate about the anti-aging stuff? Are you really passionate about business? Do you want to talk about business all day long until your head falls off? Like, find out who you are as a human instead of looking around at what everybody else is, because you are going to have to be consistent at this. And I know we've said this so many times, but consistency beats talent every single time. If you have a person who is consistent with a message, no matter what that message is, but every single week you know that person is talking about the same thing, what that does in the mind of your prospect, whether they're for business or they're for products, is it elevates you. And they see you then, they put you up on a pedestal and say, that person knows what they're talking about. That person is a professional. That person, if I need to know anything about this, I go to them, because all day, every day, that's what they talk about. So make sure that you really nail who you are and what you are all about and what you like to talk about.
These are the fundamental questions to ask yourself, and we've had it just up before, but the first thing is, what do you love to talk about? What is the thing that, if you know, like you see that post that goes around, if someone just stood you up for 20 minutes now and said,
what would you
talk about the thing that you love most about, what is the thing that you love to talk about? Now, I did put a poll in the attraction marketing group, the group that we're all a part of, and I asked you, what was the thing that you love to talk about? You know, is it business or like business side of things? Now, business is general. And I want you to start to think about this as a marketer. Talking about business is general. Talking about products is general. It's about really drilling down and finding the conversation specific to the individual. Women is general. However, you can drill women down until you get to a niche target market. Who exactly is the woman? Right? Who exactly is the business? What is the business? So what do you love to talk about? Write it down. The second thing then is, what expertise do you already possess? Are you in the fitness industry? Are you a beautician? Are you a whiz on social media? Are you a hairdresser? Are you are you an expert at trading? I mean, whatever it is, what do you possess right now? Are you a whiz in the kitchen? Do you love healthy eating? Like, what is it? Like, what is the stuff that you absolutely, like, it's one of your traits. If someone said, if you asked the question, when you see me, what do you think? What are my expertise that you think I possess? Oh, well, even you're a motivator. Like, you're so motivated. Well, that becomes motivational. People are looking for motivators. People are looking for this. So you have to do this groundwork first.
You could put that question out on your social media now. You could put that out there. When you think of me, what 3 things would you see about me? And you'll soon see the common thread that everyone else in your network sees. They may say, you're funny, you've got great, recipes or something, you've got great business tips, you are always talking you'll see it. The feedback will come back to you, and it will tell you exactly what other people are seeing in terms of what you're putting yourself out there on social media.
Are you a gardener? Are you great at handiwork? Whatever it is, this is your opportunity to start to brand you and be completely and authentically you. Be able to then take this genius and be able to start to look at the next step, which is we're going to be talking about your target market, your audience. And we're doing all this in reverse before we get to the amazing, just tell me what to post. You got to do reverse engineer. Who is this person that you want to speak to?
So if I look at I'll just keep referring back to my fitness pages, because I was a personal trainer. I owned a gym, so it was authentic. It was integrity for me. I wasn't someone sitting in the house pretending to be a personal trainer or pretending to be, that way. It was what I was living all day, every day. I was interested in CrossFit. I had niched it down from general fitness to CrossFit to women. Then I sat down and worked out exactly who that person was, what was keeping them up at night, what was their pain points, what were they searching through social media, what did they want to achieve. Then I could construct my post to speak directly to them. Want to increase your reps, want to increase your endurance, want to increase your flexibility in your CrossFit gymnastic workouts, want to lose weight so you're lighter on the bar so you can do more pull-ups. Now, if I was posting that stuff on my personal page to just everyone and their dog, again, that would be like German to most people. It would go over their head. They'd be like, I ain't doing no pull-ups.
Or CrossFit was like, what's your WOD? What's the WOD? And it's like, what's a WOD?
Yeah, all of that sort of stuff is alien talk to most people. You're talking to the wrong person. But because I had niched that down to the specific exact person, and it was all in a line. So your sort of integrity and your alignment sort of clicks. I'm a personal trainer. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about transforming women's bodies and lives. I'm passionate about CrossFit. I want to talk to them about increasing whatever it is that they want to increase inside of CrossFit. It's like everything sort of clicks into line, and then it's very easy to talk about it all day, every single day until your head falls off, right, and have authentic conversations with that person. And that is how you build trust, and that is how you speak directly to that person's pain point. Now, it's not about being generic and going fitness, men, women, kids, dogs.
Everyone. In.
That will land on deaf ears because it's too beige, it's too generic. So it really is sitting down and working out who exactly you're talking to.
So I'll give you an example, right? To bring Joe's conversation back.
Workout of the day.
So let's just take that. So Sammie is a personal trainer. All right, she loves CrossFit. She does it every day. She's passionate about it. She can talk about it. She knows all the 21, 15, 9. She knows the WOD, trainer, not WOD, WAD, workout of the day. She knows all the language, right? So she speaks the language, so it becomes authentic to her. Now, she could go two ways. She could talk about the product, or she could talk about the business in that instance. She could be talking about, a target market of CrossFitters who want to up-level their they want to improve their weight, their workouts. They want to improve their time. They want to be able to recover faster. They want to be able to, to do more. Or she could go the business route, still in the same niche, and talk to CrossFit gym owners about what it's like to own a CrossFit box, to be able to increase their sales, to be able to increase their gym membership, to be able to show people how she implements business. How does she create multiple streams of income inside of her business, still in the same conversation to her as a genius. However, she could either go customer or she could go opportunity. And just really quickly on that, if you're a hairdresser or like a beautician, for example, and you're looking at this going, okay, well, what am I going to do? You could talk to a person who wants to improve their skin and all that, like their complexion and all that sort of stuff. Or if you want to go down the business opportunity, like I said, business was general, you could now be targeting beauticians. And you could be able to show them how to set up their branding, talk about how to add value to their customers. I mean, this could be the content that you could be rolling out because you have the opportunity, right? There are two sides to this. And so understanding you, first of all, is the major step here. Then understanding who you ultimately want to talk to. Like I said, you can have two sides of the coin.
So with the CrossFit conversation, just to give you,
excuse me,
bless you. With the CrossFit conversation, I can tell you who is in our business. A lot of you will know, and it comes from me as a CrossFit owner of a gym, talking about the business to another CrossFit gym owner, and that person was Matt and Karina Jolly. So they came into our business in Isogenics from a CrossFit conversation about we are implementing something into our gym, which you may be interested in too, because we were CrossFit gym owners.
Sammie, you said
talking
yes
to each other.
You said yes to the opportunity from a CrossFit box owner.
From a CrossFit, another CrossFit box owner.
CrossFit is talking to CrossFitters about it, but when it comes time to then delivering the product and the conversation, we could be able to not only talk to other CrossFit box owners or gym owners or whatever, expert in that field. We could also talk to our customers and our members on the products as well. So
exactly.
Finding your
powerful
niche. So here's your 4 questions. What are their biggest challenges right now? Who is it? What do they desire most? So who is influencing them already? Because they're already having the conversations, they're already going to somewhere already, having the conversations that you should be having, that you should be able to service. You should be able to help these more people answer the questions, be able to create content, be able to, to have consistent conversation over time with these people. You can position yourself as the go-to person inside of this person's mind. But at the moment, if you're just posting a post every now and again, and it's just general, stuff with no clear call to action, no next step, well then they're gonna be going there anyway. They're going to go find it somewhere else. You need to plug that hole and be bringing more traffic straight to you.
And plus for instance, you are posting about weight loss, for instance, and you don't have a part to your business, which is as soon as they bump into you on social media, you are like, weight loss, great, I am the weight loss guru, come my direction. What will happen is they will bump into you about weight loss. Then guess what else happens? If you don't have that pull in, they bump off you into someone else and they bump into them for weight loss. And if they have that system in place, they will pull them straight into their business, their marketing world, their trust conversations. So you have to have something in place as soon as that person comes to you, rather than just pumping out this generic content. Because what you are doing if you don't have that sort of system in place is you're actually marketing for other people's businesses. Do you realize that? When you are posting all of this amazing content, you are writing these great big amazing posts, you are taking these awesome pictures, you are posting about business or gut health or weight loss or anti-aging, whatever it is, unless you have that pull in straight away into your marketing world, you have just created a marketing post for someone else's business who does have the system to pull them in.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move it. So here it is. You can't serve everyone. When you try to speak to everyone, you attract no one. How many people is this showing up in their business at the moment? Trying to be all things to everyone, trying to be the 1 minute's about customers, next minute about something else, then you go gut health and you're a weight loss expert and you're collagen this, then you're collagen that, and then you're talking about business, and you're talking about opportunity. Like no one gets it. You're trying, because it's just spray and pray, just spraying everything around rather than having, exactly who you are. You know exactly who you want to talk about. You know exactly the pain points, the frustrations and problems that this exact person is dealing with. And you then start to create all day, every day, intentional content that goes out and hits that person directly between the eyes. You're not all things to everyone. You can't be. And trying to do that, and that's, like I said, that's good at the start because you sort of, oh, well, I do a post and someone comes to me and says, okay, I want to buy your stuff. It's like, whoa, holy moly, I'm in business now. Look at me go. And then all of a sudden you get to that place where it's 30, 60 days. And you're like, well, like Sammie said, my mum's bought enough product. She's stocked up for, 6 months now. So where am I going next? And so it's about building this funnel, building this this attractive character at the top of your funnel, which is what you're going to stand for, what you're going to talk about, because then everything else falls into place. Everything else will then start to, we get into day 4 when we start talking about your actual social media content and content scheduling. You can create a whole 12 months now. You create a whole year of content ready to go, and you can be systematic, you can be organized, you can be, focused exactly on what you want to get out, and ultimately the team that you want to build. So this is really important. So we are here to build trust over time. Write those last 3 words down. Trust over time. That's what, because it's not good enough that we just sell trust. It's trust over time. It's like, I'm not going anywhere. Once I'm here, I'm going to put my flag in, and I'm going to set myself up, and I'm going to say, I'm going to be building trust every week. Every week you can count on me. Every week you can count on me. I mean, you have a look, just really quickly, you have a look at the YouTubers, right? Like the people who are successful at it. Let me I'll give it to you another way, right?
Leave that on because we're reading it.
I'll go back there quickly. So it's like everyone's business is like a bag of popcorn. This is an example I saw many years ago. It's so funny. You know the microwave popcorn, right?
Yes.
You put it in.
You put the bag in, 3 minutes.
You close it, 3 minutes, and done. And this is an example of your business. Now, if you just left it in there for 3 minutes, it would eventually cook itself and do whatever else. However, in most people's businesses, they put the popcorn in, they put 3 minutes, and they open the door, and they take it out, they put it back in again, they start, stop. They're opening and shutting the door all the time. So it never ever gets to a place where it's cooking, where it's actually done.
Reap the rewards of your labor.
And so the heat needs to be consistent. You need to be consistent at it. If you're going to show up every week and say, right, every Monday, like I said, in terms of your content strategy, every Monday, I'm going to show up with a brand new post. It's going to blow your socks off. If I'm going to become the gut guru, all right, let's just for example, I've worked out I'm going to target women, gut health. I'm going to be the gut health guru. I'm going to claim that space in people's minds. Every Monday, guys, you can guarantee I'm going to come in either with a video, and it's going to be high value. It's going to be like 3 ways to be able to to look after you, to poo better, whatever it is, right? But
that's for Joe Butler.
The game isn't to just build trust once or twice and then you're on to the next thing, you're flaky. It's every Monday until you heard what Justin was talking about. We're taking that same until, and you're going to show up like the gut guru every single week. And I'm just before you jump in, Sammie, the YouTubers.
Yes.
The way to build that momentum in a YouTube channel is what? Consistency. If that person says, every Monday I'm going to drop a video, every Monday I'm going to drop a video, subscribe, and every Monday I'm going to drop a video, and if you said that in your video and then you never came back,
you're not going to build
ain't nobody
trust.
coming.
And that is the thing with this business as well. It's very emotional. So people are like, yeah, it's working. It's all great. Oh, no, it's not. I'm having 2 months off. Yeah, it's working again. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm now selling a different product. Oh, yeah, it's working now. Oh, no, I've gone off to do something. I've gone off somewhere else. And that lack of consistency is sending a very, very powerful message to anyone who is watching you. It's sending a message that you are untrustworthy, that you chop and change all the time, that you have no real anchor into what you're doing, that you don't believe in what you're doing, because every other week it's something else. You're in, you're out, you're up, you're down, you're on to the next thing. It does not build trust at all with your audience. Like I said earlier, consistency beats talent every single time. So if you are an amazing person at writing, for instance, but you write a great post once every 2 months, the person who doesn't write as well as you, but who writes every single day, will beat you hands down. It does not matter about how amazing you are if you're not consistent. So that's why if you reverse engineer this, because you have to be consistent to build trust, you have to find something that you're passionate about or that you don't mind talking about until the cows come home, because you're going to have to do that to build up that trust. You're going to have to be able to, every day for the first 2 months when no one else shows up, like what Justin was talking about, that call. You know, where he said, I had to get on this call and there was not one person on it. However, I showed up and showed up and showed up and showed up. The same as when we started our business. It was Brett and I at a table. I was out here, 4 kids running around with a cardboard box. And it was like, okay, how do we turn this into $1 million in revenue? How do we do that? Through being consistent. So every single day, no matter what was going on in our world, and all of you know this, we all have life. We all have kids, we all have ups, we all have downs, we have good days, bad days, something happens. However, it is the people who are consistent and show up every single day with that strong message that build the trust, that get the people coming into their business.
All right, so here we go. So build trust over time. Number 1, become intentional when creating content. So once you become intimately aware of your ideal client's pains, the next thing is to create content. Be it on a daily, hourly, monthly, or whatever you're doing, whenever you're putting your megaphone out using social media platforms as the megaphone to your marketing, you want to make sure that you've got the right content that you're going to hit them in between the eyeballs.
Can I just add something here? Because this is another big thing. When you are moving onto social media, like what Brett's just said there, when you've got your megaphone, how you view social media, how you view your platform is extremely powerful in your mindset. For a lot of people, they go onto social media to consume. So it's like, right, I need to get on social media. I need to stalk that person, look at what that person's doing, go through my news feed, go through messages. I'm going through it and I'm eating social media. When you eat social media, you really aren't using it the way that it's intended in terms of your business. You're using it definitely as a user on social media to stalk people, look at what people are doing, but you're not using it in a business sense. When you are running a business on social media, you have to look at your platforms as your TV show. It is the Jade TV show. It's the Kelly TV show. It's the Susan TV show. It's the Rachel TV show, the Chelsea TV show, the Tracy TV show. What are you putting out to the world? What are you sending out? Not what are you consuming in? And if you start looking at your social media like, okay, unfollow all of these people, defriend, block people who aren't serving you, and you get rid and you clear your platform into a very clean slate, you get on there and your goal is to output. How are you forcing your message out? How are you using your TV show to get your message out there? And that is the biggest thing that I see is a lot of people get on social media. They do one post, they copy a generic post and push it out. And then the next 3 hours is spent consuming other people's stuff. You want people to consume your stuff. You don't need to be consuming anyone else's stuff.
And when we get into like the content structure of attraction marketing, you'll see that you can create one piece of like content is extremely valuable. And you putting a lot of energy and effort and time into this one piece, right? Putting all your heart and soul to make sure it's attractive, make sure it's value, like make sure there's a clear call to action. Then what you can do is you can take that one piece and you create what we call omnipresence. In fact, the rest of the week then, your reels, your stories, your Facebook lives, your emails, whatever it is, all sends people back to that one piece of content rather than trying to go, okay, today I got to get more content. Like content is going to be behind the scenes, but then sending back to that beautiful piece of like, valuable content that's rich in solutions, that has a call to action saying, these are my next steps. And then when you push out and use your social media, it's like the megaphone then is intentional coming back to that one piece. All right, so you're going to be able to see that if you do it right, and we're all going in this together, the social media just becomes that megaphone to push people back into the funnel, like pushing people back into it. A little bit of like, we just dropped on a video here. It's this, that. These are the 5 steps. If you want to check it out, here's the link to go back to it, to watch it, and away you go. You keep sending people into your traffic.
And like what Brett said, it's that being consistent. Like I watched the person who I joined in my previous business. I watched her for about 12 months talking about weight loss, because at the time it wasn't my pain point. Although what she was doing is she was building up, in my eyes, credibility and trust that if I ever needed weight loss, she'd be the person I went to. If I ever needed that specific thing, she'd be the person. Now, she could have posted 3 times and said, no one cares about weight loss, I'm not posting about it anymore. And then guess what? When it came around to me needing something, she would not have popped up in my mind. However, because she was consistent and positioned herself, and it went on and on and on and on for that extended period of time, as soon as it popped up in my mind that I needed that, she was the person that I went to. So for you, just because you're not getting people like immediately, or like every single week you've got 50 new customers, just remember there are people like me sitting in your networks who are watching to see if you're consistent. Can I trust you? Are you trustworthy? Can I buy from you? Will it do what it says it's going to do? Some people it takes 2 posts. Other people like me, it took 12 months to build up that trust. However, you have quality people sitting in your networks that if you're confusing them with 1 minute you this, 1 minute you that, 1 minute you're in, the next minute you're off doing something else, in, out, up, down, you confuse people, you lose them.
You're confused. That's what it says. It says that you're confused, and confused mind will always say no. So deepen your relationships. If you don't have a good relationship with your customers or your network, it will be hard to sell them your product. It doesn't matter if your product is the best thing since sliced bread. No one will see your product because they see through the lens of your relationship with them. And if you haven't spent time making that relationship and earning trust, that when the person comes in front of you and you're talking about them about your latest, most significant thing that you would like them to purchase, they won't believe it. Sammie G's famous quote is...
Go on, you can say it.
The depth of your connection will determine how people view your product, service, or opportunity.
So you will see on social media, even at the moment, there are people selling junk, right? Things that don't even work, things that are a load of garbage, but they're in your network and they have built up a lot of trust with you, and you're watching it. You're like, what are they selling? Does it work? Could it really do that? Is that really what this thing does? That looks amazing. Why are you even looking at it? Because you have created a relationship with that person, that you are looking at their product, their service, their opportunity. You see it through the lens of your relationship with them first, and then you see their product. Now, if you aren't building trust and relationships with your audience, it doesn't matter whether you have the best thing in the world. You could be posting out there all day, every day. This is amazing. This is amazing. You should buy it. People will see it through the lens of your relationship first before they actually see your product. So it works both ways, and it will be working on you at the moment. You, like I said, you'll be looking at stuff on social media with it, which if you took it away and broke it down, you'd be like, that is absolute garbage. But that person almost sold me into buying it because I had a good relationship with them, and I see that product via that relationship. So you working on deepening your relationships and deepening your trust with people inside of your networks is you building your business.
The beautiful thing about the trust over time thing is it can all be automated. It can all be done once and be done over time, again and again, as long as you are consistent at it. All right, so here we go. If you're going to build a successful brand, you must understand people's pains and frustrations and how your product is their solution to this pain. That is the fundamental. That is what we're here to do. We understand that we understand this person better than they know themselves. And so it's our job to be able to create, like if we're creating content, if we're thinking about, ways to attract them to you, if you're thinking about all these different ways, like I said, you're trying to get this person's attention. That's why you are all posting online. That's why you're all showing up, because you are trying to get someone's attention. The sooner you understand who that person is at the other end of that phone, what they're going through, and how you can help them, this is the most important part to attraction marketing. All right, so here we are. We are at the end of day 1. This is your actions for today. It must be done within 24 hours, because when we come back here, we are going to assume that you have done the work. So here's my suggestion to you.
Go back
right,
onto that.
I'll jump back on there, but I want to see your faces. I want to see your face. You can go back there. Don't worry if you're writing it down, right?
We will go back.
You need to get in touch with who you are and who you help. Those two things. The third thing is you need to understand what the problems they are facing right now. Like not in the future, not all that. What's the problem, right? Because you are tomorrow in day 2, we are going to create the solution, like I said, and we are going to put it in a framework that once it's done, that becomes the call to action. Every single time you create content, you go out there, you throw out the megaphone, it all leads back to this one thing, right? So this is the thing we're going to go to work on. So you need to make sure that you get these things right, okay? So here it is again. Number 1, get clear on who you are and who you can help.
How you can help.
And how you can help. Number 2, clearly define your target market.
Yep, so I'll give you some examples of those 2 things. So for me, if I looked back in the day, and I'll use that example. I could use now, but I'll do that one because it's easier. That was, I'm a personal trainer and I help CrossFit women transform their bodies, increase their performance at the gym, and give them supplements to use that will help, increase their recovery time. So I knew exactly that's who I was talking to. I was not posting, spraying Facebook with every single thing. I was talking specifically to a certain group of people. I knew exactly who I was. So again, that authenticity and that alignment, it all clicks into place.
So this is all you work on, right? Over the next, and what I would suggest is use the group now, ask people. This is, check this. We'll do a hashtag ask. I'll put it up in the feature so you can use it. Anyone who puts ask, and then you just ask the question. This is me. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about that. Can someone help me? Ask for feedback over and over again until you get it right. But get this right today.
And when you get it, post it in there, because there could be someone else going, oh, what do I? Oh, yeah, that's great. That is exactly what I was thinking. So share inside of that group. Defining the pain points is extremely important, because that then creates your content. Because guess what? If I'm scrolling through social media, and I'm a woman who does CrossFit and I need to lose weight because I want to do more pull-ups or whatever it is, or increase more muscle or something, and you are talking to me about that pain point, like I want to lose weight now, or I want to increase muscle mass or whatever, and you are selling me my pain point, guess what? I'm going to buy it from you.
You're going to buy.
Because you're speaking my language. So defining the pain points as well. A pain point is what keeps them up at night. What are they scrolling through social media searching for? What's something that they're like, oh, I need to achieve that. I'm searching. Where can I get it from? That is their pain point. You need to have these 3 things in place for step 1.
So my friends, we also have created a workbook for day 1, and we are also opening up our central hub. So I will actually share the link. So what will be on the central hub? This will be the go-to place to catch the replays. So I will put the replays up in the actual one pager. So you'll be able to go straight to this central hub, and any workbooks, anything, because we're going to be sharing templates and things like that for you. So you'll be able to then go to it and download it. So day one workbook is as soon as we finish the live, I will throw that in. It's been updated. So those people who have been on that, we've actually updated this specifically for the masterclass. And so you'll be able to find that as well, to be able to go to work, to be able to jog your memory, to be able to look at it and go, okay, fantastic, this is what's going on. This is what I need to work on. So that will be available as soon as we jump off, and I'll share the link to it. And of course, like I said, we'll be sharing this video in there as well. So you'll be able to watch the replay of this in one place. And as we go through, the days will open up as well. Thank you so much, Sammie G, for being here. And I just wanted to share with you, like, a lot of people, a few people are like, oh my God, emails are dead, and all that sort of stuff. Today, I sent out an email, and I could throw a post up, right? So I could do a post, and I don't know if a certain amount of people see it or not. Like, I'm sort of guessing, right? I'm guessing. I sent an email out today to let everyone know that this call was on, and it delivered to 100% of the people that were on the list. So your message using email is extremely powerful, because I can control that I can hit you between the eyeballs. I know that every single human that was on that subscrition list, or anyone who's put their email in it, got the information. Now, whether they open it or whatever else, that's a different story. I think we sent 2 hours ago, over 50% of people opened it. All right, and about 25% of you clicked the actual button. So I know exactly what's going on. So I control that. I control that traffic. So imagine how powerful it is when you decide who you are, when you decide who you're going to talk to, and then you start building that list. Imagine if consistently you are showing and building trust over the topics that you're going to be talking about over time.
And remember, this is not just another one of those courses. I know some of you on here have been on every single course known to man. You've read every book, you've watched every video in the guide section, you're on every team call. This is not just more stuff to just entertain you and be like, yeah, this is another great thing that I'm learning about, but then it doesn't get anywhere. This is about you taking this, because this business is simple. Marketing is simple. If you take 5 days worth of stuff that we're going to give you, but then you actually go out and do it consistently, that's where you're going to see the results in your business.
All right, ciao for now. See you tomorrow. Make sure you're using the group. Get to work.